What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Day traders, class swing traders. Hope you guys doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Al in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert, Amy, Anna, Andrew, Andy in the house. Good morning to Bill, Cheryl, Jeff, Lou, Lucian. Good morning. We got Lydia. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Marius, Peter, Rick, Shane, Wendy in the house. Woo. Uh, Peter says I can't hear the beat. Can you guys hear me? Is my sound working? Because yeah, the music. The music was I had it said it was sharing, but then it was even coming out like a different speaker for me. So I'm not sure what's happened with that. So you could just beatbox I guess the next time it happens. You know, keep it interesting. Hostile in YouTube. Good morning to you. Good morning to Richard Jet. Good morning to M Sky. David Cooks in the house. What's going on? Clarice. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube. That's just not gonna say anything all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe. But y'all, you guys are telling me to miss the music. All right, we'll play it again at some point during the day. We'll get everybody their music fix. But yeah, it was weird for me too. Now I don't know. I think we're just gonna wrap it up here. We'll just go home. I need that music too. But Spy. So the just back and forth absolutely continues. You kind of expected a little pullback after an absolute monster move where individual names were moving up 20%, 20%, 25%, 17, 18, 19%, all in one day off of the headlines. So you have a little bit of a rest period. The pullback almost triggered circuit breaker. I'm not even sure why it didn't. It was very strange because you need to get to seven, you need to down 7%. So I don't know what other rule kind of took place, but we were sitting right there. We did clicks down 7% on the day on the SPY, and there was no circuit breaker. Let me share the other screen. Let me share TOS for TOS, and this is why some levels matter. Let's take a look real quick at this chart on SPY. Let's see if I can make this one bigger. Maximize sell. So there we go. Let's put on, yep, right there. So interesting enough, and the move is so big, you have to kind of readjust how you think to some of these things. But as we're pulling back, right around here on SPY was about 7%. It clicked like 7.02, something like that. We were talking about this up here in this range. So as we were kind of pulling back, I think we were, no, not there, somewhere around here. Yep, we were close to this 38% retracement. We're looking at these levels on the Fibonacci saying, okay, well, if we started here, we ended up here. All of this essentially is just one big move higher, right? That's your straight line. So where would some good spots for bulls to come in? The market told us on this day that we were obviously bullish. Something has changed. Something broke in the news. We know what that is. The 90-day tariff pause. But this is essentially the move that we had from pre-market to here. So we had this fibbed out, and we fibbed it out from somewhere around this zone. I was like, you know what? We're down a lot. I think we should probably get some kind of a bounce around that 30% retracement. So I took a stab. I lost on some trades in that zone. I think we had a good short on Google. We just bounced too soon on it. So we made a little bit back on that one. But the next spot down, as we start to break, I wasn't really looking for anything until we got to that 50 and just the dramatic nature of how we were breaking down. I was like, maybe we should just wait for that 618. So as things were getting worse and worse, we were getting very close to this line. I was like, if they're not gonna, I was waiting for the circuit breaker, and I was like, if they're not going to click that circuit breaker, then maybe we go up from here at a very good location. It's either we get circuit breaker or not. So I was able to get like 3-4 Rs between Tesla and Nvidia, just using the SPY levels on the market. So perfect balance in the 618 leaves us in a. I think this leaves us to say that all of this yesterday was just one big pullback, one big retest. The bulls at least stepped into where they should have, right at that 509.50 zone. We talked about that during the live trade room yesterday. And right now we're just hanging out. So we're back above the 50. We're back above the 618. If this thing was all one big dip, that could set us up for that next rip higher. So a few key levels just on this before we go back to TradingView. Watch this 509.50. We could definitely see some kind of double bottom in there today. But that's going to be my next line in the sand. If that doesn't hold, maybe you got this. Emily was talking about the 78% retracement yesterday. That would take us into 498.77 if we get there. Otherwise, I don't really typically like to trade the 78% retracement. You might have a quick day trade, quick bounce off of it. I don't really look for that level just because if we're breaking down, more than half of the people that were in this thing bullish are now out and there's no support to buy it back. I would typically look for, can we hold a little bit of a longer term double bottom somewhere around 485.09 if we get down there. But this 509.50, that's going to be a key spot. If we come in, we sell off, we have some kind of panic sell off in the morning, people taking some gains. You're still dealing with, even though it's just a pullback, but right now that's what it looks like. That's still psychologically, people are down 7% and they're just feeling nauseous at that point. You do have a little bit of a pennant pattern now too, so we can look at this for right now. If this is going to come back for that double bottom, maybe we watch this level right around here. See if we start right now. We have a little bit of a head and shoulders at this point. We're sitting right there at the neckline. So I think our first tell would be if we start closing anywhere back below 524.25, something like that. If we start closing back, then now actually we're making on a smaller time frame, lower highs, lower lows. The next spot that could hold us, the big one would be confirmation 521. But I think at that point you're more than likely to at least retest probably that 50% retracement, and then we have to see if we can hold there for today. There would be a mini, tiny little double bottom from pre-market in there too. So we'll see. Otherwise, I think longer term, this 509.50 it's got to hold. So we'll see if it does. If not, then protect yourselves. Get some shorts on the table. Try to reverse it a little bit, but right now, kind of in no man's land. The next big resistance from this fib would be 533.91, and then if that could break out, then yeah, I'd be looking for this 548.99, and with the amount of how quickly this thing pulled back, I think you have a shot to kind of take that out, whether it's today or next week, who knows? But the fibs, they work. They will give you some good peace of mind in a volatile market. Let's find a couple levels on SPY and then we'll move on to the Qs. Today's open, and we did have PPI come in. That was light. We had CPI yesterday. That was light. PPI reaction worked almost the same as CPI yesterday, so we had a quick initial bullish reaction, and we kind of sold off and gave it all back. Where we were though before was a very interesting level. So we were higher than this VPOC, which is somewhere right around 523. We'll call it 524. If we could recapture 524 again at open, then maybe we're looking more northbound. If we're below this, we could probably make it back to some of those key levels that we just talked about on the fib. And I have really good volume spot somewhere right around 515.01. No, 515.26. So that would be kind of my range for today. Small move, see if we get some kind of bouncing and we just chop around until we could actually break out from some of that retest. But Peter says, did you see that 0DT option? Yeah, 509. Crazy move. Trump set to buy 2100% gain. It's a normal market. That's typical returns. Yeah, we just needed a historic buying day, biggest buying day in stock market history. You guys, I mean, if you're not aware by now, you're trading in a historic market. This is crazy. But we got Qs, same thing on Qs. So inside candle, a little bit of a hammer. I guess really on a candle basis, you'd want to see us take out the highs of yesterday. That seems like a tall task at this point, but we'll see if there's any other headlines coming out. Otherwise, where we're opening right now, if we open here, let me get a little bit more zoomed in, accurate level. My trading view has just been, I don't know. This market's been messing trading view up. 445.65. Anything below that, I would still be hesitant at least to go long. Anything above that, I'd probably go long into yesterday's open would be a very interesting spot. Otherwise, I think you got room to 455. We also hit that yesterday, so perfect retest of that resistance. If we can get back up there, we might be a little bit more likely to break. You got your 20 EMA coming in. That's somewhere around 463. And then a monster move, which has also been retested, 468.60. Otherwise, to the downside, I'm looking for a little support, maybe somewhere around 438.93. So I think I'd be short if we're opening how we look now into that zone, and then see if we get some kind of a bounce from there. Yep, little bit of a pullback now, but again, um, even this wick is just a monster bounce off of that support. We probably have to retest that one a little bit, and then maybe as long as we can hold those levels, though, I'd still be leaning slight bullish at this point, um, just off the backdrop of that candle from 2 days ago. So we will see Bitcoin. Let's see what you guys are doing in crypto world. BTC USD. For right now, looking okay. It's hanging out there. So if this is a sign of what's going to come to the market, and we were gapping up about 2 minutes ago in the rest of the market. Bitcoin not a bad level if we're holding here. And again, 24-hour market, so it's not like we have to wait for a bell to ring on this one. But you do have a very, very key support resistance somewhere around 81, 892. You have a moving average and today's VPOC, the 20 and the VPOC for today completely lined up. So first we got to get past or stay above that 81 zone that we just talked about, and then we're gonna have to try to get somewhere above 82, 394 for this thing to, I don't know about getting a rocket ship, but maybe a mini rocket ship, probably up to like 83, 342, and then maybe back into 200. If we fail here, this is going to be a good short spot. If we start getting underneath this and then watch anything Coinbase related, MSTR related, Misty related, Mara, Riot, all those guys. But key support 79, 494. We did hold that one so far. We have been holding that one, and maybe a little chop in between both of those key levels on that one. You got Amazon, AMZN. Mustafa's in the house. What's up, Mustafa? We got Amazon that is gapping down. Looks kind of similar to the SPY for right now. Again, this candle from Wednesday, I'm using this candle for all of my VPOCs. For all of my like, yeah, we're definitely taking another leg down and the bottom's not in. If we start breaking down on Amazon 171.58, that would be short for me. You have a few levels of support, which we bounced this first one. So maybe if you, we didn't quite get there, we missed it by a couple. We're very close to it. I would say we hit that. So somewhere around 175.65 is your first support for today. If we get down to that zone, I think you can break it. You do have a few more levels, so somewhere around 174.74. And I think that would be a good risk reward in a bull side of things, because obviously my line in the sand on this one, somewhere around 171.28-ish. So I got very, very small risk on the table. And then if we can hold these levels, if we're just chopping in here, and this is the bottom, we don't break down, we have really, really good upside to Amazon from here. So we'll have to see, but watch that candle from Wednesday. That's going to be the key. Otherwise, you do have some risk reward built in a bullish direction. You probably want to hold really the low of that hammer from yesterday, but if there's a little bull trap, it could get a few pennies lower, it looks like. Otherwise, I'm not going to go bullish yet on this one. You just have way too much in terms of day trading at open. I wouldn't go bullish on this one. You got 180.31. You got to climb above that first, and then we really got to start getting above 181.06, and that might set you up for a bigger trade. But still a lot of resistance in the bullish direction. I would want this one to drop a little bit further. If we can get that drop, then maybe I'd be good to go bullish. I don't think I want to play this one bearish yet. We're too close. Longer term basis, I think our risk reward actually sets up more bullish than bearish on that one. All right, GLD is the next one I got. Um, wow, not a lot of tickers coming in today. Not a lot. Gold. I believe that was all-time highs on gold, and it was all-time highs. This pre-market is going to do some magical new all-time highs. So very interesting. Gold is still on the move. The gold is going higher. This is obviously a retest gap. It's going to probably act a little bit differently. I don't think I'm going to be. I don't know if I'd want to short it. I think if you get a good candle setup in there, keep your stops above all-time high somewhere. This is a fade, but this thing has just been absolutely rampaging. So again, I'm not too comfortable to short this one. If it does work and it does fully retest, that would take you back down to 292.47. That's where my target would be. But you have to almost see how these kind of opening candles come in or pre-market breakdown. Otherwise, everything looks pretty golden for golds. Not so much usually for silver. Silver's kind of like the left behind child here. Today, getting a little bit of love. So not anywhere close to all-time highs yet, but you are getting a little bit of a at least gap up on silver. So that's getting some love in the markets today. And then big resistance is 28.89 for silver. If you start getting above that, I like it more bullish. At least probably next target. Next target would be somewhere around the $30 range, and then you got up to probably 31.84, somewhere up there. But for right now, nice little gap up. It is a retest gap, so be careful at open as it is walking into resistance. AMD from my boy Lucian. Raymond Moe wants MU. All right, we'll check out MU. We got AMD chillaxing at the moment. Let me take some of those lines off my chart. I don't know why TradingView is just. I feel like every pre-market during the day it's been working okay, except for like one crazy volatility day. Everything else. You got AMD is looking interesting. This one's gapping up. Rest of the market kind of pulling back a little bit. Inside day candle, you do have, I would throw my support somewhere around this 88.61 zone. It's called, yeah, 88.61. Inside day candle, maybe a little chop, and if the market's coming back, maybe we pull down first. We could hit that support. I think that gives you a better opportunity to go long. You're probably going to want your stops, I would assume, below the low of yesterday's candle. So if you're getting in at 88.60, that gives you about $3.65 stop. I kind of want a tighter stop on that one than this, but otherwise you got 94.31 would be your target to the high side. So risk to reward is you're kind of in the middle, as close as you can get to a pullback or a tighter setup on AMD might work. You might need the rest of the market to move with it, but not a bad open for AMD. Let's get that one. See if I can get this one higher on the list. Let's see if this one. See how TradingView does on scrolling stocks today. I feel like I'm using some old technology. You guys know those TVs where you had the TVs and you want to watch a show, but you have to let the TV warm up a little bit. Remember that? Remember those days? That's how I feel like TradingView is right now for me. It's like, okay. Let's take a look at Apple AAPL. Apple is not looking as healthy as AMD in terms of a bullish direction. Still inside day though, so we could hang our hats on that. Otherwise, your target to the bullish side for me would be about 189.14. That's not going to give us much room. If you could break through that, you still got one more little resistance, but at least we'd be above yesterday's VPOC. This is going to be 191.25. Um, I think you do have a little bit more room to the downside. We never really retested 180.06. So I think that would be my target to the short side. If you get a little pop first, would get you better risk to reward. But for right now, I think it's a do nothing or lean short until some of those other VPOCs are taken out. Andrew says, I remember when we used to get the shrinking screen on, on Tube TV. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. All right, we got MU. We'll take a look at that one. And then I got Intel on the list too. I probably just have to refresh TradingView, to be honest, but got to get those picture tubes warmed up. Yeah. And then like your cars too. Remember that? You wanted to go to the grocery store. You have to have that car running for about an hour and a half probably pretty good for the environment. MU doesn't look like it's doing much today, so I think it's just chilling. You got resistance about $70.02. If you can break that, it looks a little bit healthier, but you're still walking into a resistance around 72.01. To the downside, I've got some kind of support around 67.90, and then your big one, huge one from that Wednesday candle is going to take you to 65.35. So for a bullish case, you're at least above that. I don't think I'd be probably day trading this one today. I not until you start breaking out some of those levels. Otherwise, look for some kind of support. If you're trying to go long, even as a swing trade, that as a swing trade, maybe if you could get it off of this like $68 price, have your stop low of Wednesday, and then see if you could kind of maybe bang on out of here. Who knows? It's MU, but that would actually give you a decent setup for anything past that. If we get any closing past this 65.21, I wouldn't be holding it. Or if you still like it, I'd be protecting it at least. We'll see. Let's see. The other one we got is Intel, INTC, the eventual Intel. Thanks a lot, TradingView. All right. Not looking that great. This one again, some of these at the very high of the day threw in on that Wednesday the VPOC higher. So there's a little bit more people maybe still trapped on this one. I think really good resistance 21.25. If you start breaking that out, Intel starts to feel good again. But even with this gap up or gap down today, I think you would have wanted to hold probably somewhere around 1942. So maybe we climb above it. Maybe in the next 6 minutes we get above it. Otherwise, the only thing really holding you back is $18.16 is your next really support. So I like it with room to the downside. And then not only that, based on the fact that you're taking out most of this candle, if you get down there, I don't know how comfortable I feel with that being a support. So I kind of like it to the short side. Probably pretty quickly to open, but we'll see how this market wants to open. That's not a good looking. Not yet to go bullish. Maybe lean short. We will see. We got Nvidia. Nvidia. Looks similar to the rest of the market. Let's see. Nvidia is always slow on the VPOX. I'm not sure why. There it is. I don't know if we are gonna. Nvidia got all the way down to the Wednesday VPOC and found its bounce spot. That's very interesting. Wow. Yeah, if there was a time to buy Nvidia, it was there. Just like AMD, chips are at least I think a little bit stronger so far. And again, 5 more minutes left. Um, I'd have to lean bullish on this one. You're running into some moving averages, but you're gonna want to watch 108.19. Stay above there, and maybe you could have some kind of fun break today. Resistance is all over the place on this one. You got 109.55. We did hit that yesterday. A little bit easier to break through. Uh, then your next target, I think a very good target to the long direction if we could carry this thing home. 112.46. We hit that on Wednesday. The next one we also hit on Wednesday. We hit every target on Wednesday apparently. We got 113.59. If you're really trying to hang in there and if this market can wake up and push bullish, you might have, and it's not going to be easy, but you might have 116.85 as a target. That would be a good upside challenge to get through it. But that bounce off of that spot with that wick, that's impressive. And then we're opening above today's VPOC as well. So I'll watch it. I'll see if we could get maybe a high wave candle out of the gate, something like that. I think would be fun. Google. Actually, I see Tesla first, so we'll wait on Google. Gotta go to my boy Tessie. Tessie, interesting day. Um, the big spot for me, and we're not opening there. Dang it. I want to be biased and just be bullish, but I can't do that. Can't do that. I wanted this thing in pre-market a few minutes ago. We were. I want this thing above 251.78. At that point, that's where I would have liked this thing to open. Maybe there's still a shot that we do it. Otherwise, you're still running into resistance 253.34. Anything above that looks good in the long direction. Again, we've hit all those targets. The next target for me is going to be about 280. I don't know if we get there today, though. Um, to the short side, and I don't think I would establish my bullish position right away. Watch what happens here first. I think be patient. I think that will pay. Otherwise, the next support, which we hit yesterday, 248.47. We'll see how this one does here. I think the lower the better for me on this one. 245.75. We hit that yesterday. I think the next real spot of support on this one for me, you might have a better shot bearish, at least in terms of risk reward. 233.68. That's if we're climbing back above it. So see where this thing opens. Anything again above 251.78, I'm not going short. I'm going to be hesitant to go long. We just climbed back above it. There is a lot of room to the downside. There is some resistance we could get, or some support we could get some bouncing off of, but we've broke through all those. If we get down there, it looks a little bit weaker. I'll be patient. I need to see a candle or two on this one. I do like the upside longer term to 280, and then if we can start breaking 280, I'm down. I think I got 300 and 301, 302 on the deck. But for right now, that's opening right at that support. So we'll see. We will see. Let's take a look at Google. Lydia says, hoping we get a full moon balance. Emily was talking about it in Slack. I hope so. I hope so too. All right, let's see. We got Google. Not much more time left. Google kind of iffy. You're really gonna want to see at some point today 153.40 get taken out, and then I think you got some room to the upside. Otherwise, we're kind of in no man's land. See how support holds. There's a lot of chop in the market today. See how like 151.75 holds. We've been there before. Next really really big support, which I'd probably wait for this one to go long, somewhere around 150.36. We've also been there before too. So extended sell off, things get a little panicky. You have to start looking for somewhere around 148.46 if we cannot get above yesterday's VPOC around 153.47. So I'm not long, maybe short's the right direction, but probably a little bit choppy for now. Ask Wendy is the house moon specialist. Duke DeFool seems like JH visiting the Prez yesterday. Have some good news for yeah, that could be the case. There goes Google. So Google's right at that resistance. Watch what happens on Google from here. Other than that, everybody YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you're not done so already. Otherwise, you guys are credible. Have a great weekend, and I will catch you on